I had a run-in with a youth. I don't know what a youth is. It might have been an old woman, to be perfectly honest with you, because it was quite short and had a woolly hat, but... I was on a late-night train coming out of London. Really busy, late-night, drunken weekend train, and this kid comes marching down the middle of the carriageway and he's banging people on the head with his elbows, like that, which I thought was hilarious. I'm a very pure old man. From where I was sitting, it looked like human dominoes. It was very funny indeed. But he was playing music very loudly on his mobile phone without the use of headphones. Yeah. I don't know how you feel about this, but it makes me want to kill. I know that's an intemperate reaction. I know it is. I know there are worse things in the world, like child poverty or Ugg boots. M People's version of Itchy Coo Park still burns a hole in my soul, to be perfectly honest with you. But he was brazen. He was brazen. And he came and sat opposite me. I don't know what he was playing. I don't know what music it was. It all sounds the same coming out of a mobile phone. Sounds like somebody jumping up and down on a bag of crisps, as far as I can see. But he sat opposite me. Now, I'm very English. I'm a watcher, not a doer. Sometimes you've got to make a stand. And I just said to him, I said, "Excuse me, young man." Yeah, that was probably my first mistake, you know. I said, "Would you mind turning that down? It's very rude." He said, "Fuck off," which I thought was equally rude, frankly. The train then comes to a station and stops, and everybody else in the train just gets up and leaves. This being southern England, there's people going, "Come on, Dorothy, I know we live 30 miles from here, but there's confrontation on the horizon, we're leaving." And they all just cleared off, just leaving me in this tow rag on the train. Now the train pulls off. It's essentially now it's an empty train. But we can't move, we can't back down. It's like the end of a western. Something's going to give. And I said to him, I said, "Look around, son. It's just me and you now. You're really annoying me. Please turn it down." And again, he told me to fuck off. He knew his lines, I'll give him that much. Now, I'm quite used to late night confrontation. Partly it's the job, partly it's the way I dress. I do tend to polarise opinion in a late night kebab shop queue, that's what I felt. That's the thing about being a mod, you know, you can be treated with some kind of... Most areas of the country, you're treated with some kind of nostalgic throwback, you know, except in the West Country, where I'm Buck Rogers, obviously. But we pulled off again, and I said, "Look around. It's just me and you. You're really annoying me." Now, I know the psychology of situations. I know how to handle myself, and I knew that this situation basically needed a nutter. Some situations just need nutters, don't they? We didn't have one. I had to do it myself. I was a bit busy. And I leaned over and I said, "Have you got a weapon?" He wasn't expecting that line of question. I said, "Look, you're skinnier than a blade of grass, but you've got more aggression than a wasp at a bloody picnic. Have you got a knife?" He's now looking at me going, "Why have you started doing a Michael Caine impression? Who do you think you are?" But he sat there in that kind of early teenage floppy way. He went, "Yeah, got a knife, haven't I?" Well, this is clearly a far more dangerous situation than I was banking on when I started the conversation. I said, "Well, I'll do you a deal. You throw your knife out the window, I'll let you play your music as loud as you want. Right? Now, that's not cowardice, that's negotiation." With a lot of cowardice thrown in. And he stood up and he pulled out this pathetic attempt at weaponry. It was like Action Man cutlery. It wouldn't have stoned a bloody olive, right? But he threw it out the window. He genuinely threw it out the window. And I punched him so hard. And he could do nothing about it because he'd thrown his bloody knife out the window. That's my problem with kids today. They're just naive, aren't they? We'd never have fallen for that shit when we were growing up. And don't get me wrong, I'm not some kind of violent MP3 vigilante. I'm not. I wouldn't have got involved if he'd been a day over 14. I genuinely wouldn't have done so. And I'm a parent as well, and I genuinely feel that naivety and innocence should be nurtured, should be protected as long as it possibly can be. But sometimes when you see innocence crushed, It's hilarious. I've been here more. Thank you very much. Good night.